Greg Maddux was not the fastest pitcher of his era, but he was undoubtedly one of the most dominant. While many focus on arm power or pitch speed, Maddux proved that the true power in baseball comes from control, precision, and above all, intelligence. Over the course of his career, he became a master at deceiving batters, making everyone believe victory was within anyone's reach, until he began to pitch. And that's exactly what made him a legend. His unique ability to manipulate the game in such a way that even the most powerful batters didn't know what to expect. I am Alder Santos, and welcome to our channel, Legends of Baseball. In an era dominated by pitchers who relied on brute force, Maddux chose a more cerebral, more strategic approach, and the results were simply extraordinary. What makes Greg Maddux's story even more fascinating is the fact that he didn't need to be the most feared pitcher to be the most successful. Unlike other great pitchers who shone through the speed of their fastballs, Maddux won 4 consecutive Cy Young Awards between 1992 and 1995, an achievement so impressive that many believe it is impossible to replicate. These awards weren't the result of a single brilliant season, but of an unbeatable consistency he maintained over 4 straight years. Maddux redefined what it meant to be an elite pitcher, not with power, but with absolute control over his craft. Watch this video until the end and discover how Greg Maddux became a baseball legend. Leave your comment below. Which Maddux pitch impresses you the most? And do you think any pitcher will be able to repeat his 4 consecutive Cy Young Awards? Let's discuss in the comments. What made Maddux even more remarkable was his ability to make what was actually an incredibly complex job look easy. His pitches, the most varied and skilled in baseball, were often so subtle that batters didn't even realize the trick until it was too late. With a combination of almost surgical precision and a sharp mind, he not only challenged but conquered the laws of baseball, leaving behind a mark that would become nearly immortal. In this video, we will explore how Greg Maddux turned the mound into a stage of pure genius, and, in doing so, secured a place among the greatest legends in sports history. Greg Maddux is widely recognized as one of the greatest pitchers in baseball history. His illustrious career, marked by impressive accomplishments, began in 1986 when he debuted in Major League Baseball, MLB, with the Chicago Cubs. Although he faced early struggles, like many young players, Maddux quickly showed signs of greatness. He became a master of precision, control, and intelligence on the mound, qualities that set him apart from other pitchers of his era. At the start of his career, Maddux had to fight to find consistency in his game. In his early seasons, he showed flashes of his potential, but also faced challenges competing against the best players in the world. The turning point came in 1988, when he recorded 18 wins and an ERA of 3.18, a milestone that indicated Maddux was beginning to dominate the sport. This was just the beginning of a meteoric rise that would transform his career and make him one of the most respected pitchers of all time. Maddux is most remembered for his extraordinary streak of 4 consecutive Cy Young Awards from 1992 to 1995, an achievement that few players have matched. During this period, he was simply unstoppable. His numbers were incredible, including ridiculously low ERAs, like 1.56 in 1994. Maddux was not known for his speed. Instead, he relied on his precise control, ability to induce weak contact, and tactical intelligence to deceive opposing batters. Maddux's move to the Atlanta Braves in 1993 marked the beginning of what many consider the brightest phase of his career. Under the leadership of Bobby Cox, Maddux became the centerpiece of a pitching rotation that included other great names like Tom Glavine and John Smoltz. Together, they formed one of the most dominant pitching staffs in baseball history, helping the Braves win multiple division titles and a World Series in 1995. One of the most impressive traits of Maddux was his consistency. He reached at least 15 wins in 17 consecutive seasons, a record that reflects not only his talent, but also his incredible durability. He was known for his meticulous approach to the game, tirelessly studying opposing batters and adjusting his strategy for each matchup. This preparation and attention to detail were integral parts of his success. Maddux was also an exceptional fielder. He won 18 Gold Glove awards throughout his career, a record for any player, regardless of position. His fielding ability was an extension of his intelligence and instincts, allowing him to turn difficult plays into seemingly simple outs. This made him a complete pitcher, capable of contributing to his team in multiple ways. Maddux's dedication to the sport was also reflected in his work ethic. He was known for his discipline and always sought ways to improve, even when he was already at the peak of his career. This approach served as an inspiration to his teammates and helped establish a standard of excellence in the clubs he played for. In 2008, Maddux announced his retirement, ending a 23-season career that accumulated a total of 355 wins, the most by any pitcher since World War II. His impact on the game was recognized with his induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2014, in his first year of eligibility, with an impressive 97.2% of the vote. Greg Maddux's story is not just about numbers and awards, but also about the lasting impact he had on the sport. He redefined what it meant to be a pitcher, showing that control, intelligence, and preparation could be just as effective as raw speed. His legacy continues to inspire new generations of players who seek to follow in his footsteps and achieve greatness on the mound. In addition to his unparalleled consistency on the field, Greg Maddux was known for his humble personality off it. He never sought the spotlight and preferred to let his performances speak for themselves. Maddux believed that a player's true greatness lay in their ability to contribute to collective success, rather than pursue individual recognition. This modest approach made him even more admired by his teammates and fans. For Maddux, baseball was as much a game of intelligence as it was of skill, and he proved that strategy could outpace brute strength. Another notable aspect of Maddux's career was his absolute dominance during an era when batters were at their peak. While many pitchers saw their statistics suffer with the increased offensive production in the 1990s, Maddux seemed immune to these trends. He used his surgical precision and advanced knowledge of batters to neutralize even the most formidable opponents. This reinforces the idea that his ability as a strategist was just as valuable as his physical prowess. Maddux also stood out as a mentor to young players, both on and off the field. He believed in the power of education in baseball and often shared his knowledge with younger teammates. Many pitchers who worked alongside Maddux reported learning more from him in a single season than in years of practice. His willingness to teach and help the next generation was a legacy parallel to his impressive list of individual accomplishments. After his retirement, Greg Maddux continued contributing to the world of baseball, holding advisory roles in various MLB organizations. His experience and vision of the game made him an indispensable voice in team strategies and pitcher development. Even away from the mound, Maddux remained a force in the sport, helping shape the future of baseball with the same passion he showed as a player. Maddux's reputation as one of the greatest pitchers of all time was solidified when he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2014, receiving an impressive 97.2% of the vote. This recognition was more than deserved, considering his unparalleled career and the impact he had on the sport. He joined an elite group of legends whose legacy transcends generations, proving that his unique approach to baseball was worthy of being celebrated forever. Greg Maddux's career is a brilliant example of how intelligence, dedication, and hard work can overcome even the toughest challenges. He showed that baseball is as much a game of strategy as it is of strength, and that true greatness lies in understanding and mastering the fundamentals. Whether as a pitcher, mentor, or sports icon, Maddux will continue to inspire players and fans for many years to come. His story is a testament to what can be achieved when talent and determination meet at the highest level. Greg Maddux's influence on baseball goes beyond numbers and statistics. He embodied the essence of what it means to be a complete player, someone who masters his craft in every aspect. His impact on the sport transcends the boundaries of the field, with his methodical approach inspiring coaches, players, and analysts to reconsider what makes a pitcher truly exceptional. Every time a player steps on the mound and trusts precision more than speed, they are, in a way, echoing Maddux's legacy. In addition to his genius on the mound, Maddux was also known for his laid-back demeanor and sense of humor. He brought lightness to the competitive and intense environment of professional baseball, helping to keep the team's spirit high even in moments of pressure. Stories about his pranks in the clubhouse became legends within the league, showing that he understood the importance of balancing serious work with fun. This human aspect of his personality made Maddux one of the most beloved players of his generation. One of Greg Maddux's trademarks was his ability to win before the first pitch. He would study opposing batters' patterns exhaustively, analyze every movement, and adjust his tactics based on what he knew. Many batters claimed that facing Maddux was like entering a chess match where he already knew the next 5 moves. This psychological mastery, combined with his pinpoint precision, made him an almost invincible opponent. Maddux also had a special talent for controlling the pace of the game. He knew exactly how to slow down or speed up a game to take opponents out of their comfort zone. His ability to maintain focus, even in moments of high pressure, was another factor that set him apart from other pitchers. Maddux understood that baseball was a game of details and that small margins could make all the difference. This unwavering focus became one of his greatest weapons. When we reflect on Greg Maddux's career, it's impossible to ignore his longevity in the sport. He not only stayed relevant for 2 decades, but he also continued to evolve as a player. Even when his speed diminished with age, he compensated with intelligence and adaptation. His ability to adjust his game to meet the demands of different eras in the MLB is a testament to his genius as an athlete. Maddux's story also serves as a lesson for fans and aspiring baseball players. No matter how much the game evolves, the fundamentals never stop being important. His career was a reminder that excellence in sports isn't just about raw skill, but about studying, planning, and executing with consistency. He showed that, even in a sport filled with superstars, there is room for those who play intelligently and strategically. Even years after his retirement, Greg Maddux's legacy remains alive in discussions about the greatest pitchers of all time. He is frequently cited as the definitive example of how to dominate a sport without relying solely on physical strength. This is why he continues to be a role model for young athletes seeking to understand that success is as mental as it is physical. Throughout his journey, Maddux also emphasized the value of teamwork. Although his individual skills were unparalleled, he always credited his success to the support of his teammates and coaches. He knew that a pitcher, no matter how great, needed a solid defense and an effective offense to win games. This humility and recognition of collective effort were key to his popularity both on and off the field. Another significant aspect of Maddux's career was his consistency. For years, he maintained a level of excellence few could match. He was known for never turning off his dedication, always seeking ways to improve, even after impressive achievements. This relentless pursuit of perfection turned him into a symbol of dedication for other players and for the sport as a whole. For baseball fans, Greg Maddux represents the best the sport has to offer. He showed that with intelligence, hard work, and a love for the game, it is possible to overcome challenges and leave a lasting mark. His story is not just about victories or awards, but about how he played the game with integrity, passion, and respect. Greg Maddux also stood out as a mentor. Even while competing at a high level, he was willing to share his knowledge with teammates and young talents. Many players who passed through clubs where Maddux played speak about his generosity in teaching the nuances of the game, especially when it came to reading hitters and pitch control. This desire to elevate others around him reflected his deep understanding of baseball as a collective effort. Another fascinating aspect of Maddux's career was his ability to remain unflappable even in moments of extreme adversity. He was a master at maintaining composure, regardless of the situation in the game. In high-pressure moments, Maddux not only delivered extraordinary performances, but did so with a calmness that disarmed even the most confident opponents. This emotional balance was one of his greatest qualities as both an athlete and a human being. In addition to his contributions on the field, Maddux also made a significant impact off it. He was involved in several charity initiatives throughout his career and continued supporting local communities after his retirement. His dedication to giving back to society shows that his greatness wasn't confined to baseball. Maddux understood that his position as an elite athlete gave him a platform to make a difference in people's lives, something he embraced with gratitude and responsibility. Greg Maddux's induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2014 was the culmination of a career full of remarkable feats. He was elected with 97.2% of the vote, one of the highest percentages in history, proving the profound impact he had on the sport. During his acceptance speech, Maddux thanked his family, teammates, and coaches, reaffirming the importance of the support he received throughout his journey. It was a moment that encapsulated his humility and appreciation for the game. Today, Greg Maddux remains a respected figure in baseball, working in administrative roles and as a consultant for MLB teams. His vision of the game and experience are highly valued, and he continues to shape the future of the sport by sharing his vast knowledge with new generations. Maddux's impact extends beyond what he accomplished as a player. He helped redefine the role of a pitcher in the dynamics of the game. Looking back and reflecting on Greg Maddux's career, we see an athlete who transcended physical limitations and redefined excellence in baseball. He was more than just a talented pitcher. He was a strategist, a leader, and an ambassador for the sport. His story is a celebration of what can be achieved when talent, intelligence, and passion come together in harmony. Greg Maddux's journey is a testament that greatness is not defined solely by brilliant moments, but by relentless consistency and the ability to adapt. He showed that success doesn't come from sheer brute force, but from intelligence, preparation, and dedication. In the end, Maddux didn't just dominate the game. He shaped it in ways that will continue to be felt for generations. Greg Maddux is a living reminder that baseball is, at its core, a game of details and strategy. He will always be remembered as one of the greatest pitchers to ever step on the mound, but also as an example of integrity, humility, and love for the sport. His influence transcends statistics, inspiring fans, players, and coaches to value the game in all its aspects. Greg Maddux is not just a baseball legend. He is an icon of what it truly means to be great. What set Greg Maddux apart from many other pitchers was his almost supernatural ability to control the ball. Maddux was not a pitcher of extreme speed, but his precision was simply impeccable. He mastered corner pitching, meaning he consistently threw on the edges of the strike zone, leaving hitters unsure whether to swing or not. Additionally, his ability to manipulate the movement of the ball was legendary. His sinker had a sharp downward and leftward movement, fooling hitters and resulting in a multitude of ground balls. His command of the two-seam fastball made the ball move so much it seemed to defy the laws of physics. He also used changes in speed strategically, breaking the timing of hitters and making his pitches nearly impossible to predict. Maddux was a master at reading the game. He studied hitters meticulously, knowing exactly what their weaknesses were and how to exploit them. This tactical intelligence was complemented by his ability to make adjustments during the game, adapting his approach according to the circumstances. On July 22, 1997, Maddux pitched a masterful game against the Chicago Cubs, throwing a complete game with just 76 pitches, a rare feat known as a Maddux game. This kind of performance solidified his reputation as one of the most efficient pitchers in history. In the 1995 World Series, Maddux was key to the Braves winning the title. In Game 1, he dominated the Cleveland Indians, allowing only 2 hits in 9 innings and securing a crucial victory. His ability to stay calm in high-pressure situations highlighted his value in big moments. On August 7, 2004, Maddux achieved his 300th win in a game against the San Francisco Giants. This milestone placed him in an exclusive group of pitchers in MLB history, celebrating his consistency and excellence throughout his career. Off the field, Maddux was known for his sense of humor and humility. He never saw himself as a star, even though he was widely regarded as one of the greatest of all time. Maddux often helped young players, sharing his wisdom and encouraging them to study the game deeply. He also contributed to various philanthropic causes, including supporting organizations focused on children and education. His working-class approach made him a figure admired both inside and outside the sports world. Greg Maddux left an indelible mark on the history of baseball, not just for the numbers he accumulated, but for the way he played the game. He redefined the role of a pitcher, proving that intelligence, study, and precision could overcome brute strength. His meticulous and cerebral style inspired generations of players, from rookie pitchers to veterans who sought to emulate his control and composure. Even after his retirement, Maddux continues to be a central figure in the history of baseball. His induction into the Hall of Fame in 2014, with an impressive 97.2% vote, was a confirmation of his status as one of the greatest legends in the sport. The fact that he chose to enter the Hall of Fame without the logo of any specific team on his cap reflects his gratitude for all the organizations he represented and his desire to be remembered for his entire career. Furthermore, his dedication to studying the game remains a benchmark. Maddux paved the way for pitchers at all levels to understand that success involves much more than physical talent. He popularized the idea that mental and strategic preparation is essential for achieving long-term success. Looking at the modern era of baseball, marked by extreme speed and a greater focus on power, Maddux is a reminder that there is more than one way to dominate the game. His meticulous approach can be seen as a counterculture in the sport, emphasizing precision and efficiency at a time when many focus on power and flashy numbers. Modern players often cite Maddux as an inspiration. His impact goes beyond pitchers, influencing coaches and analysts as well. Maddux showed that the intelligent use of data and observations can change the dynamics of a game, something that has now become essential in such an analytical sport. Greg Maddux was a pioneer of the data era in baseball. Long before teams began using big data and advanced analytics, he was already taking notes on opposing batters, studying their patterns, and anticipating their reactions. His innovative approach helped shape the way baseball is played and analyzed today. Maddux also had a significant cultural impact. He brought a work ethic and humility that contrasted with the image of many sports stars. He was often described as a regular guy, despite being one of the greatest of all time. This contrast made him admired not only by his team's fans, but by baseball fans in general. Greg Maddux was not just a baseball player. He was an architect of excellence. His commitment to the game, his unparalleled intelligence, and his consistency in such an unpredictable sport are lessons for anyone, both on and off the field. His career is an example of what can be achieved when talent is combined with hard work and dedication. Maddux transcended the role of a pitcher to become an iconic figure. He is an inspiration not only to athletes, but to anyone striving for excellence in their field. His story reminds us that success is not just about skill, but about how you choose to apply that skill intelligently and strategically. The legacy of Greg Maddux will live forever in the hearts of baseball fans. He is a living testament that in sports and life, the small details make all the difference. His journey, marked by achievements, humility, and a passion for the game, will continue to inspire future generations. Greg Maddux's story is more than just a collection of impressive numbers and awards accumulated throughout his career. It is a clear example of how baseball, like any other sport, is not defined solely by physical strength, but by mental skill and strategic intelligence. In an era when pitchers were often judged by the speed of their pitches, Maddux made it clear that control, game vision, and the ability to anticipate the opponent's moves are equally, if not more, important. He wasn't the pitcher most feared for the power of his fastballs, but for the surgical precision with which he guided every pitch to its destination, bewildering batters with his absolute command. His historic streak of 4 consecutive Cy Young Awards was no accident, but rather a reflection of a unique and meticulous approach. Maddux understood early on that to stand out in baseball, it wasn't enough to just have the necessary physical talent. One needed a sharp mind, capable of reading the game, studying batters' behavior, and adjusting strategies according to the situations that arose. He became, thus, a true calculating machine on the mound, a strategist whose goal was not just to make batters fail, but also to mentally control them. He knew how to make every pitch seem like an imminent threat, when in reality, all he was doing was applying his own version of art to the game. Maddux's legacy also challenges the way we often view success in sports. In a world where physical statistics like pitch speed or strikeout totals are frequently used as benchmarks to determine an athlete's greatness, Maddux proved that true excellence doesn't necessarily lie in explosive numbers, but in consistency and the ability to stay at the top of one's profession for an extended period. 4 consecutive Cy Youngs are not just an extraordinary feat, but a demonstration that success in baseball and in life doesn't depend solely on raw ability, but on the ability to adapt, evolve, and overcome challenges with intelligence and perseverance. Looking at Greg Maddux's impact on baseball, we can't help but notice how he changed the way pitchers are evaluated to this day. The concept of a complete pitcher for Maddux was a reflection of mental dominance, not just physical mastery. His ability to control the pace of the game, understand batters' psychology, and apply the right tactics at the right time became a model for future generations of pitchers. Maddux was not just an athlete, but a thinker, someone who turned the pitcher's mound into an intellectual battleground. Baseball, like many other sports, is in many ways a metaphor for life. What Maddux teaches us is that in our personal and professional journeys, the true key to success often lies not in our raw strength or extraordinary talent, but in our ability to think strategically, observe situations, and act with precision. Often, it is the small decisions, the choices made in the most subtle moments, that have the greatest impact on the final outcome. Maddux's example reminds us that, just like he did on the mound, we should be patient, careful, and aware that success is often built through a series of well-planned steps executed with mastery. As we reflect on his career, it is also important to recognize that Maddux was a true ambassador of the game, someone who respected the sport and his opponents, but also made sure to challenge established conventions. He didn't fit the traditional mold of a dominant pitcher, but instead of trying to fit that model, he simply redefined what it meant to be great in baseball. In a sport full of expectations and standards, Maddux dared to be different. And in doing so, he inspired not only other pitchers but all athletes who seek excellence in their respective fields. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating content, and activate the bell to receive notifications. And be sure to leave your comment. Finally, Greg Maddux's legacy is a lesson in humility and greatness. He never needed fame or glory to prove his worth. His career, his victories, and his awards speak for themselves. Maddux's story reminds us that true success is not just about winning awards, but about building something lasting, something that transcends immediate accomplishments and stays in the collective memory of all who love the game. Maddux's legacy is, therefore, a reminder that in any area of life, we can find ways to dominate, not through strength, but through wisdom, patience, and the courage to follow our own path. Until the next journey, dear baseball lovers,